Turn off notifications, lock your door, grab a notepad and pen because you are going to learn knots, and I encourage you to take notes. Sit back and be prepared to learn something that is really going to blow your mind. Comment ready in the chat if you're ready. Comment ready. This just lets us know that you know where the chat is, that you know how to find the chat. So, 5 steps to 10K and beyond. Comment ready if you are ready, and I will get started. The last time we did this, the actual presentation took probably around about 40 minutes. And then there was I think almost another 40 minutes of questions and answers at the end, which were amazing. So please do write all your questions down. I will answer anything and everything. There are no silly questions. So comment ready in the chat and I will get started. So this is just a quick overview. I'm going to show you the exact method that I use, and I teach my farmers inside our community how to find customers, how to make sales, and how to really succeed at selling direct. Customers equal sales. And at the very end, I will warn you when the training is over. And if that's all you came for, that is amazing. You can say goodbye and log off. But at the very end, after the free training, there is an opportunity to see what it looks like to work with me, the kind of things that we put our farmers through, and what that would look like for you. Sound good? So in this free workshop, you're going to learn the 5 steps that you need to have a successful selling platform, and then how to get customers. And you need both of these things. Whether you've been posting with no bites or you don't even know where to begin, this training will show you exactly how to attract the right customers without wasting time or money. The struggle that so many of my farmers have is that they are producing an amazing product. Like, you just cannot beat farm fresh, farm grown, local produce, but they struggle to find buyers. And this happens to everyone. So I'm going to walk you through those critical steps of how to get customers. And the solution is you have to build your platform, you have to identify who your customer is, you then have to target that customer, and then you have to direct that traffic, those customers, to your platform that you have built. And that's how you make sales. So, this is just a quick overview, a quick agenda. Part 1 is going to be my story in a nutshell, how I saved our ranch from foreclosure and the exact methods that I used. Part 2 is the most important 5 steps you need, or the 5 puzzle pieces you need to sell your beef direct to consumer. Part 3 is the customers. Everybody always asks me, but Amy, how do I get customers? How do I get customers? And customers are like the final piece of a puzzle. And there's 4 things you have to do first. So we're going to go through all those things. Part 4 is the next step. And I have a super special, amazing, for all you Northern Americans out here, even is a special Labor Day offer. So stay tuned until the end for that special Labor Day offer, but it's where you can go from here and how I can help you get to that next level. And then part 5 is that amazing live question and answer session. And you can ask me anything. I've had people ask me, what breeds do you have and why? What cover crop do you plant? What fencing do you use? Like, it doesn't have to be sales related, though that's always good too, but it could literally be anything. If you have a bursting question that you just want an answer to, I will try my utmost to get you an answer. Sound good? So in this workshop, you will learn the steps you need to have a successful sales platform and a customer getting machine, why you aren't finding customers and making sales. These are the mistakes that all customers, all farmers make. You are not alone. I made them when I first started. I made all these mistakes and I stumbled through all of them and came out the other side. But you don't have to stumble. I am going to give you all of this now. Number three, how to target those customers so they know what you have to offer, how to get them to your website or online store to make a sale, and then how you can work with me so this is as easy as 1, 2, 3. You are in the right place if you have tried to sell direct already, but people either find your beef too expensive or you have to make it so cheap you don't make any money. You are trying to or currently are selling direct, but you are struggling to find customers or customers who will pay your prices. You are sending out emails, but no one is buying or interacting, and you can't understand why. Or you want to start selling direct to consumer, but you have no idea how. And there's probably more, like if none of these apply to you, but there's something else. These are just the top four most popular reasons why people come to me, but there are loads more. And I just wanted to say, I am so proud of you that I say in all my trainings and to all my farmers, that first step is the hardest. Taking that first step is the hardest, but it's also the most important. And recognizing you may need help and then getting help is amazing. So I'm glad you're here and we're going to get you those sales. And I'm so proud of you for taking that first step. So hi, I'm Amy. I've probably spoken to many of you before, and if I haven't, hello. I saved our ranch from foreclosure selling direct to consumer, and now I have made it my mission to help all farmers. We need farms, we need farmers, and I have made it my mission to help all of you. These are just some testimonials. This is Maggie. Maggie, at the time she started working with me, was 82. Didn't even own a television. Got us up and running in literally a few days. Wow, we would certainly recommend this course. It's a complete game changer. Amy's marketing course got us up and running in literally a few days. Where else can you get that kind of result? Amy is a wealth of practical, proven knowledge, sharing what works and what doesn't. That alone saves thousands in resources spent on trial and error. And then a week after they finished all the modules, she sent me this. Results after just 1 week. We've sold 4 quarters, 15 pounds of jerky. That's close to $9,000. Sold out of stock. Amy's method works. Bless you, Amy. Your system works very well. We thank God for you. Maggie is amazing. If you're on Instagram, she was probably all over your feed a couple of years ago. They almost lost their ranch in Alberta. And I reached out to her and her husband and they came on board and they've just done amazing. Super proud of them. This is another quick testimonial. I won't read the whole thing there, but they doubled within 2 months. Our monthly sales tripled, and that's just since they started working with me. This is a farm in Kelowna. They're in Canada, and they just weren't finding traction, and they started working with me, and within a couple of months, they literally tripled all their sales. Couple of more testimonials. I appreciate all that you have done for me. I have nothing but positive things to say about you. That's Will at Roanoke. Diamond H, thank you, Amy. We wouldn't be doing what you're doing without you. We are processing 17 head in August. Sales just keep on improving. That's Travis of Browsy Acres. And these are, it's important to note, you might not think that looks like a lot, but these are deposits. These aren't total. This isn't final revenue. It's deposits. So month 1, they made 9,426 in deposits. Month 2, 11,000. And month 3, 11,400. And that probably equals close to 40 or 50 grand in sales. My story, this is my husband and I. We are first generation ranchers. My husband has more farming experience than I do. Back in New Zealand, his grandfather ran a sheep station, and he would help out every chance he got. But we both come from the maritime and yachting industry. This yacht in the bottom right, my husband built, is called Muchas Mass, and you'll probably see it down in Florida. I'm from Scotland, he is from New Zealand, and we chose Canada as it is halfway between both. Scott was chief engineer on a privately owned yacht, and we met when I was designing and installing the satellite communications equipment on the same yacht he worked on. I'm an engineer and I have a master's in business. So far from farming and ranching, it's not true. There are no cows in the middle of the ocean, but we gave it all up to raise cattle, and I'm really glad we did. But there were some hiccups along the way. I'll try and go through this super fast. I saved our ranch from foreclosure by selling beef direct to consumer with just a laptop and a cell phone. So in March 2018, we moved from the coast in British Columbia to a 520-acre ranch 5 hours inland into the Kootenay region of BC. And we moved with 13 head of cattle. We worked remotely till the end of the year, so we still work for our jobs at the coast until December 2018. And then we resigned from our jobs, and selling beef direct was our sole source of income. And we were still carrying 2 mortgages. To buy this ranch that I'm sat in right now, we released equity in our 6 acres and wrote a business plan that was focused only on selling direct to consumer. Fast forward, and the property market took a massive dive, and we ended up losing money on our 6 acres, and our ranch wasn't enough equity to cover the debt. The bank became very nervous and started to foreclose. We gave up everything for this. We had 3 young kids, 9, 7, and 4, and selling direct had to work. I pushed and I slaved, and I started building an order book. I was taking deposits months in advance, and we had to increase our processing slots, but the bank still wouldn't accept that as guaranteed income and continued to foreclose. Eventually, I kind of got fed up of all of this. And I went over our local bank's head to their main office a couple of provinces over. And I presented my order book and my order history and our business plan and everything that was agreed. And then all the revenue totaled at that time 50,000 a month every month for the last 5 months since foreclosure started. And that was enough for them to halt proceedings and admit that they were wrong. When I was struggling, and I saved the ranch. But when I was struggling and needed help, the only other player in this field that I kind of stumbled on was way out of my price range. I was floundering, and there was no way I could hand over $18,000 when there was no guarantee that it would work. And I just really wasn't confident in, I mean, I didn't have the money anyway, but there was just no way. So I did it alone. Selling direct to consumer saved our ranch, and it's helped me save probably 100 more. So these are the 5 steps you need, or the 5 puzzle pieces. Like, you need all of these. So you need social media, you need a website, you need landing pages, you need email marketing, and you need an online store. 2, 3, and 5, website, landing page, online store, they may sound like the same thing, but they are not. And that is one of the main reasons why when some of the farmers that I work with, and they've spent that $18,000 for training and website setup, they fail because they don't have all these different puzzle pieces. But don't worry, I'm going to show you the difference between them, what they should look like, and then later on, how to get them all set up to convert specifically for your products without you needing to do any of it yourself. So again, this is the online platform. Social media, this one, I don't know whether you can actually see my mouse if I put it over the screen, maybe. Social media is the first step, and this is the entrance into your funnel. This is your pool of leads. And regardless if you are running paid ads or organic traffic, social media is the most economical, fastest, and surefire method to find leads. And this is where your customers find you and you find your customers. But we're going to hit on the customer section a little further on. So then step 2 is your website. So website and landing pages are not the same thing, and I will go into that. Email marketing, this is where the actual selling happens. You can't just use your personal Gmail account and hope for the best. You have to use an email marketing integration. And then finally, you have your online store. And this is where your leads finally become a customer. They hand over their cash and they become a customer. And I'm hoping this is making sense. So it's the same slide, but I'm now kind of linking them up. So the dotted line is if you go from social media to website to email marketing. Kind of works, not ideal. You want to go social media to landing page to email marketing to your online store. And I'll explain, I will explain. This next bit I feel that it's a bit dry, but you may really enjoy it. It is worth it, and I will try and be as fast as I can. It's just a little bit more about my process and how I got to where we are. So in January of 2019, I started our Facebook page, so social media, number one. But I didn't start Instagram until 2020. So till October 2020. So almost a year later. Almost 2 years later. I fumbled. I followed a few accounts. I started posting here and there, but eventually, after starting Instagram, everything started to work. And when things started ramping up, it was almost impossible to keep track. Orders would come from phone calls, from emails, from text messages, from Messenger, but then payments would come from e-transfer or check or cash or whatever. And it was so hard matching up some obscure Facebook name with an e-transfer that came from a numbered account with no name. And it was like, who is paying for what? Who's got what? It was impossible. So I literally thought I was going to throw my laptop out the window, but I took the plunge and I signed up for a Square account. I started creating products and taking deposits in an online store. So we already had our website, we already had email marketing, social media, but I didn't have email marketing and I did not have an online store. So I developed one. It took me days, but it it worked. So it started to really work and really link all these pieces together. It was still kind of rough and ready, but it was starting to take the form of what we teach you how to do now. My first email that I sent was awful. It went to 116 people. I didn't even have any links to click because I forgot to put them in and I had to resend it. I had no idea what I was doing. I was scared of the unsubscribe, so I would send an email kind of once a month. But even in this super rough and ready infantile stage, it really started to work. I now had this semi-working platform. And sales were easier to track and more sales started coming in because it was easier for the customer to make a sale. They didn't have to call me. They didn't have to send me an email. They could literally click on a button, pay a deposit, and their beef was coming. And this is what that platform looked like: social media, website and landing page, email marketing, and online store. Is this starting to make sense for everyone? So step 2 and 3, website and landing page. Keep your website simple. You do not need hundreds of photos. You do not need a big blog. You do not need paragraphs and paragraphs of information about you and your wife and your kids and your family and the generations, blah, 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 blah. Keep all of that is amazing information, but it's not for your website. So keep your website simple and then convert with a landing page. We all need websites, but you can have the best website in the world, but unless you can drive traffic to it, it's useless. Traffic equals customers equals sales. Your website is for SEO, which is search engine optimization, and to showcase who you are, but it's not for blogging, it's not for text, because customers get too bogged down and they get confused and they don't know where to go. Keep it simple. All that amazing like history and information and pictures that should be on your social media. That's where your customers start learning about you. That's where people you've never met yet find you. Social media. So put all of that amazing history in your life on social media. So what is a landing page? So if you had a call with me, I will probably have explained this. So on the left, the white picture, the little boy who is crying, that is no landing page. And the little boy who is smiling happy, that is a landing page. And I will explain why. So if you have kids, imagine you gave a 4-year-old $20 and you say, go into that candy store and buy whatever you want. It sounds amazing. And that little kid would probably run in there brandishing his $20 and be so shell-shocked and overwhelmed with all the colors, all the different types, all the different flavors, all the different jars. Like, do they want a sucker? Do they want something chewy? Do they want peach? Do they want orange? Do they want chocolate? And they go, I don't know what I want, get really frustrated and come out crying, tantrum, still holding a very crumpled $20 note. Now, that is a website. That is if you have send a customer to your website and they go to the About Us and they go to your gallery and they go to every single page and they go to your store and they look at all the different items and then they get overwhelmed or forget why they were there in the first place and they leave without making a purchase. That is this. That is no landing page. So imagine giving that same 4-year-old $20 and a specific instruction, go and buy fuzzy peaches. They wouldn't think anything of it. They would grab the $20, run into the store, say, fuzzy peaches, please, slap down their money and run out as happy as a clam. That is the same with customers. You need to send them somewhere where they can't do anything else. So a landing page has two options: exit the page or do what that page wants them to do. And you increase the likelihood of doing the thing, of doing that page, doing whatever that page is asking by 60%. 60%. Just sending someone to your website, you have less than 0.5% chance of making a sale. Sending them to a landing page, you increase that by 60%, which is amazing. So it's not hard. We teach you how to do this. And you will see conversions come in left and right. Conversions are sales. You will see loads of sales start coming in because you were using a landing page and not just sending them to your website. Doesn't that sound good? So step 4, 1, social media, 2 and 3, website landing page. Step 4 is email. So I had a call today and I asked them about email and they said Gmail. You cannot use Gmail. You cannot just use a Gmail account. If you think of your platform as a customer journey, you need to make your customer go from step 1 to social media to becoming a customer as step 5. But we need to track that data. So if we send an email from Gmail, a Gmail account comes up in loads of people's spam, but B, you cannot track it. You don't know how many people opened that email. You don't know how many people even got that email. You don't know how many people clicked on a link inside your email or if they purchased. Does that make sense? So knowledge is power, data is power, and you need to be able to track that journey. So by using an email marketing integration or the one that's internal, this picture here is internal to Squarespace, which is my platform, and I can see exactly who's opened that email, who's clicked on a link, who has purchased, and I know, well, that email did really well, I will use that again. But if I see that I sent 573 emails and no one opened them, then did they even get the email? So it really is powerful and it really is a game changer using a proper email marketing platform. Statistically in the e-commerce world, not just beef, emails count for over 40% of sales come from emails. That's how strong emails are. And step 5 is your store. I don't know why it hasn't come up. There we go. So your store, keep it simple. Again, keep it simple. The simpler, the better. And if you can split things into categories, even better. Don't just have every single item you have that you sell because again, overwhelm, don't know what they want to buy. It's really hard. So don't have all your products on one page, split them into categories to make it easier for the customer to purchase. Everything is for the customer. So this is my actual store. These are categories. So I have special offers. I have bulk, which is quarter, sides, and whole. I think this one is meat packs. This one is individual items. They all got cut off, but I have a category for jerky, for sausages, for wagyu, for merchandise, for organs, for custom orders. So people can go to where they want without having to wade through everything. But also, I can use, if I click into one of these, I can use that link as a pseudo landing page because it's a link exactly where I want. So, for example, if I am doing something for bulk, quarter, sides, and whole, I would use the link that's inside here. I don't just send them to my store, I send them to the bulk category so they immediately see what I want to sell them, quarter, a side, or a whole. Or I can dial that down even more and send them straight to a quarter. And this is just some more. So this is inside. We do pre-cut quarters because we know that they're nearly always cut the same. So the only choice they have is tenderloins and New Yorks or T-bones, and then a deposit for a whole cow, a deposit for a side, and that is all that is inside there. Makes it easier for people. So keep your store simple. Inside the course, inside the program, we show you exactly what pictures help you make sales, what pictures convert the most, what caption, so that description, that item description, how you can write those and what to have in there that makes people purchase. So again, if you think of that customer journey and you think that every time they take a step further to purchase, if you can increase the likelihood of them making a sale at every single step, you will make more sales. And that comes down to using the right pictures, using the right descriptions, using landing pages, sending emails, what emails to send. Every single step increases the likelihood of making a sale, and we show you exactly what all those steps are. It's like a recipe book for sales. This is Mark from the Ranch Cuts. He is one of my farmers. So Sell Beef Direct, I have my email and social media up and working. Not 100% yet, but I put up one post this morning, went outside for a couple of hours, came back in to check and sold 3 beef quarters while I was out. Thanks, Amy. This is what this industry needs. I'm going back outside now and sell more beef. So once you have this in place, it does the selling for you. Like you could, I literally, while I'm drinking my cup of coffee, while I'm putting my boots on, in one hand, I've got my phone and I'm sending an email, and I can come back in after doing preg checks or after branding, and I've made sales. That is how powerful this platform is. Don't you all want that? So this is that next step. So this is how to get customers. So step one, or puzzle piece one, step one is identifying who that customer is. Step two is targeting that customer. Step three is traffic, which is sending that customer to where you want them to go. And step four is making that sale, is getting a customer. So customer is like the fourth, the final step. And you have to do all these other things first. You can't just go from website to sale. I've had so many calls these last couple of weeks. And when I ask someone, who is your customer? They look at me blankly. Someone who wants to buy beef. And it's like, well, that's great. Yes, they are. But who are they? Who is your customer? And once you get that nailed down, this method really works. And it really is as simple as 1, 2, 3. So step one, identification. Who is your customer? If you don't know who you're talking to or who your customer is, how do you expect them to listen to you or to find you? Like if you don't know who you're grabbing out of the ether, how do they know who you are? So you both have to meet somewhere, and if you don't know who they are never going to know who you are. Makes sense? So I teach that there are 7 ideal customers, though actually just a couple of weeks ago we came up with an 8th. And the 8th is maybe a second step, but I have a farmer inside my group, and they're in the States, and they're in the mission world. So they support and sponsor missions to like Africa, South America, etc. And their kind of tagline is, if you buy beef from them, once they've sold a whole beef, they actually buy a cow for a family in one of their country or one of their towns or villages in Africa, and that cow then feeds that family, or they can sell it or whatever. So they are really focusing that kind of missionary religious sector, which is amazing. Like, it's such a unique niche, but they're still attacking or targeting the other 7. But I thought it was kind of cool how we found an 8th. Sorry, I'm rambling, but we teach that there are 7 ideal customers, and they range from, say, a mum feeding her family the best she can on a budget. So say 36-year-old, 38-year-old mum of 2 kids, to a 24-year-old carnivore who lives in the gym. The content that is going to appeal to that mother feeding a family is not going to appeal to the 24-year-old who lives in the gym. Does that make sense? That you really have to identify your 7 ideal customers and what makes them tick. And your content has to appeal to all of them. And when I say that, I don't mean one ad or one creative has to appeal to all 7. One ad, one creative appeals to one ideal customer, but there are 7. So you have 7 content ideas to spread around your ads or your social media to target all 7 ideal customers. Does that make sense? So identification, which customer am I speaking to today? Is this the right message for them? Would this stop that customer from scrolling? These are the things you have to ask yourself. Like, if you just throw up a picture of a steak, however appetizing it may be, who are you talking to? Who is that steak going to appeal to? No one. You really have to, every time you make a post, ask yourself, who am I speaking to? Does this message talk to them? Would this stop them from scrolling? Make sense? So step 2 is targeting. So we've identified who our customer is, but now we have to target them. So once you've identified them, you can use paid ads or free organic, which is social media, to really target your customer. And what we teach inside the program is that we don't do ads straight away, because you don't know what is appealing or talking to your audience. You have to identify that first, find what works, and then we run ads. This way you don't waste money. You take your ideal customer from step 1, you talk to their pain points, you answer their questions, and the answer to their question is your product, your beef or your pork or your lamb or your chicken. I even have a farmer, a homesteader inside the group, who has built a roastery in their barn. She imports coffee beans from South America and she roasts them. And we have tripled her sales because we built she uses this platform to sell coffee subscriptions within like a 2 to 3 hour radius. It works. So the answer to all those issues is her coffee or your beef or your pork, etc. And targeting matters more than you think. I can't find customers. This tells me I haven't targeted anyone. Your customers are there. Your customers are dying to spend money with you, but if you don't target them, they don't know you exist. So there is a difference between identifying and targeting. You need both. Identifying them is, who are they? Targeting them is speaking their language. So you might have identified them, but then when I look at your social media or I look at your websites or I look at your ads, they don't target them. So why identify them in the first place? You must do both. Posting generic content, pictures of meat, does not work. And with the hundreds of farmers I work with, we know what works, and generic content does not work. Targeting is showing up with the right message in the right place to the right person. Is this making sense? Are you nodding? Okay, so targeting. This is one of my favorites. So, marketing is about the consumer and not the product. I'm going to say that again. Marketing is about the consumer and not the product. And this will make sense, I promise. So this is one of my farmers. This is a beautiful picture, but who are you targeting with that picture on the right? Who are you targeting with this? It's beautiful. Like there's lovely steaks, there's green for contrast. It has that response, but where is the why? Why do I want to buy that? I've just been to Costco and my freezer is full, so scroll, swipe left. You know, why do I want it to, why do I want that? So there is zero targeting. So you need to target them. And this might be my favorite slide. So Gillette.
Sorry, Amy, can I interrupt just really quickly? I apologize. I just want to make sure, does everyone see Amy's screen? We're having somebody just not being able to see it, so I want to make sure it's an important part. It says Amy's screen at the top. It should say meeting, and then another at the very top above the face, Amy's screen.
Good
Okay,
here.
we're getting good here. Perfect.
So Mary doesn't see it. So Mary, are you on a phone or are you everyone else, are you on a phone? Okay, now I see it. Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We'll just maybe upload a different replay. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so targeting. This is my favorite slide. And you might think, what in the world does this have to do with beef? And I'm going to tell you. So I'm also going to show my age. So marketing is about the consumer and not the product. So do you remember Gillette commercials? Gillette, the best a man can get. Just write yes in the chat. Do you remember Gillette commercials? So the ones that stick in my head, and if you've had a call with me, I say this a lot. There's like three that stick in my head. One of them is pretty much this picture, but it's not a magazine, it's on TV. And there's a guy, he's just had a shave. You don't see a razor, you don't see shaving foam. You just see a guy kind of slap his cheeks, look at himself in his bathroom mirror, and his wife kisses him on the cheek. And that is all that's on the commercial. And then Gillette, the best a man can get. That is targeting a family dynamic. It is targeting a family dynamic. It's targeting the consumer. It is not showing you a product. The other one that I remember is this one you do see shaving foam. It's a dad teaching his son how to shave. So they have the shaving foam on and they're shaving and they're laughing. Again, it's the family dynamic. The one is like the husband and wife, the married couple dynamic. The dad teaching his son how to shave is the family dynamic. And the last one that I remember is like a young 20-odd-year-old, I would probably say 24 or something. He's running down the stairs and he stops at the bottom of the stairs in the hall mirror and he slaps his cheeks, he grabs his coat and he runs out the door where his friends are waiting in a car or a truck. And you know that they're off out on a night on the town or he has a hot date. So it's targeting that 20-something single dynamic. All the same product, totally different commercials. Does that make sense? So if this is starting to make sense, do you comment Gillette? Comment Gillette if this is now making targeting make sense. So that single person going out to meet a girl, that commercial is not going to appeal to the married couple. So your beef has to do the same. Just a picture of beef doesn't appeal to anyone. Like just a picture of a razor blade doesn't appeal to anyone. Because why do I want that blade? But seeing, the clean shaven husband getting a kiss from his wife, that shave is going to get him something. So you have to kind of think that just a picture of a steak doesn't target anyone, but adding something in there where the steak is the answer or beef is the answer, you can start to target your ideal customer. Make sense? Comment Gillette if this is finally making sense, and you will make me very, very happy. Okay, so we've identified who they are, we've targeted them, so now is the traffic. And traffic, all that means is sending that ideal customer to your landing page or to your website. So you have to send them somewhere. So you could have the best website in the world, but if no one finds it, it's useless. So we have to send people there so they know where to find you and how to make a sale. That's all traffic is. But you can't find traffic if you don't identify your customer and target them. Makes sense? So driving traffic, and what does this mean? How do you convert that lead into a customer? You have to drive them somewhere in order to convert that person from a viewer to a lead to a customer. So where are you sending it? So I'm just gonna have a drink. My throat's super scratchy. You need to send them somewhere. So there are so many ways to drive traffic in terms of websites. Paid ads. So paid ads have the greatest reach. It is expensive. You're in danger of getting a cold audience, and then you have to warm them up. But you get the maximum volume. Word of mouth is the warmest audience. It is the highest form of social proof, but it doesn't have the scale. Word of mouth, you're talking 1-to-1, whereas paid ads, you're talking 1-to-1,000. But word of mouth, if someone says, dude, I had the best steak last night, you need to go and buy one, you're pretty likely to go and buy a steak. Social media combines them. So social media is combines that social proof with the reach of a paid ad. For example, someone shares your post onto their page and says, I had the best steak ever and I bought it from this ranch. They sell in bulk, they sell in packs, try them out. Because I have said that, my friends are more likely to try it out. Or something like, do you want to save money on your groceries? I bought in bulk here and I saved so much on my grocery bill. Mums everywhere, check this out. And all of a sudden, you have reached a huge audience from one post because of social media. Makes sense? So this is important. So if you can control where you send leads and customers, you can track statistics. I told someone today, I'm an engineer. I love numbers. I love statistics. I love things like that because numbers don't lie. So, and it's the same in this. So if you can see where the numbers are, you can improve on it. So they do not lie. So if you can see that your landing page is bringing in 100 people have landed on your landing page and you've got 60 email addresses, then that's converting really well and you're growing your list. But if people are landing on your landing page, they're not doing anything, then you need to tweak and amend your landing page. But you wouldn't see that if you didn't use it. Like you have to look at the numbers. Does that make sense for people? If you send traffic to just your website, you often cannot capture that lead as there's too much choice and you can't see where they went. Like you can't see, well, you can see where they fell off, or you can see that they landed on the homepage and left on the About Us page, but that just shows that they bounced around and did nothing. That if they went to a proper landing page, you increase the chance of them doing something by 60%, which is amazing. So where to send it? If you're just starting out and growing your list, I recommend you send it to a landing page for email sign up because you sell in the emails, and leads make customers. If you're super established and you're launching a specific product, or you're maybe you have a surplus of something and you're trying to get rid of it, then I would send them to a landing page for that product. And then you can also track it. So couple of years ago now, I had a loads of shank left over. Like all that I had in my bins in the freezer was shank, crosscut shank, ossobuco, things that people pot roast in the winter, and this was July. So I made a landing page called Christmas in July, and I did like a little thing about me cooking shank and then making it into tacos. And I sold out of all my shank because it was a landing page for one product. I wasn't just sending people to a page hoping they buy it. It was an actual landing page for that product. Does that make sense? Write shank if that makes sense. Because I think it makes sense, but my brain works in a very strange way. So write shank if that makes sense. Um, okay, so we need to increase traffic. So these are just some examples of some of my farmers to show how they've increased traffic and what they've done. So I'm trying to remember who they are now. January the 1st, 2024. So this is the same farm. So in the whole of 2024, they only had just under 2,000 people visit their site. In a whole year, 2,000 people. So that's not a lot of people, but they weren't driving traffic. After joining the program and kind of learning what all this is, January, February, March, so in 3 months, they had 4,500 visitors to their site. So they increased their visits by over 1,500% in just 3 months from the year before. And this did translate into sales. And this is, they didn't do anything special. They had a website, they had social media, they had email, but nothing was linking. Like they weren't using them correctly. So once they signed up and they were inside the community and they learned how to do this, they increased their traffic by 1,500%, and that made sales. This is just the same one as before. This is Bryan Family Farm. Their sales tripled. They've been doing this for 10 years. My husband and I have been ranching part-time for the last 10 years. We come to realize we were missing a big market that lots of people are buying from out of town, and a lot of locals didn't even know we were here. I hear this all the time. They came into Empowering Farmers and they tripled their sales because they could finally target their customers and drive the traffic. They're always quick to answer health questions. The support is great. The program works. They're awesome. They're doing really, really well. And because what's funny is I'm in their target area. So they're in Kelowna, 2 hours from me, and I get hit with their ads, and I love their ads. Every time I see them, I think they're awesome. But they're doing really, really well. So this is another site. So they increased 133% month on month. So 9,000 in a month. And this transferred into sales. This is deposits, not final revenue. So about 3,500 in deposits is probably closer to 10, 20K in sales, which is really cool. So how do we get customers? We target our audience, we drive the traffic, and we convert that lead to a customer. So your little checklist. If you don't know who you are targeting, how can you expect to reach them with social media or even ads? When I start working with a farmer and they have been there, done that, they've run ads, and I have a look at their ads, I know instantly why it's not working. It's because they have zero targeting. That change can make all the difference. Finally, customers. So identification, targeting, traffic, customers. These are just some testimonials. I have never had so many people visit our website, and this definitely transferred into sales. They increased 1,000% year on year. I've been working with other programs and never saw results. I hear this so much. After working with Amy, our sales quadrupled in 1 month. 89% increase in traffic and 451% increase in sales. Again, deposits. So just some more testimonials. I appreciate all that you have done for me. I have nothing but positive things to say about you. All these numbers. I think there's 889% increase in sales, 787% increase in sales, all just by increasing the traffic, identifying the customer, targeting, driving traffic. But for all of this to work, you have to have that right platform in place. So you have to have your social media, your website and landing pages, your email marketing, and your online store. And inside Empowering Farmers, we teach you how to do this. Like, we show you exactly what you need and how to do it. Okay, so I said I would warn you. So that is the end of the free training. So if that was, we're about to go into what it looks like to work with me. So if you just came here for the free training, thank you so much. That's amazing. If you have learned loads and taken loads of notes, please let me know if you found it helpful. You can email, I'll get Willow to write it in the chat, but you can email me at any time with any questions if you just need like a little bit of help, or to let me know how you got on. hello@sellbeefdirect.com. hello@sellbeefdirect.com. Willow will type that in the chat. I'm really excited for you, as this is one heck of a journey. But if you do choose to stick around, there is live question and answers at the end, and I can answer anything live. And there is that Labor Day special offer. And for those of you who want to see what it looks like to work with me behind the scenes, comment BTS in the chat, BTS for behind the scenes. So I kind of know who is interested or who kind of is sticking on because they want to work with me, and I want to make that as easy as possible. So comment BTS in the chat for behind the scenes. And if you are ready to turn things around, make your next 10K, and 10K turns into 50K really quickly, then stick around. So option A, I've got this. I'm going to try this on my own. That's amazing. Take all these actionable tips and use them, run with them. My biggest piece of advice is don't have analysis paralysis. Just start, just take action. If you don't start, you'll never know. So just start. Option B, you're ready to go all in. I am inviting you to join us in Empowering Farmers, and you will see what that looks like in the next few slides. So Empowering Farmers is my flagship course. I designed this course. I wrote this course. We update the material at least once a year. Where every time I hit a stumbling block on my own ranch, and I kind of work my way through it, I turn it into a module, a course, a lesson, and I share it. And everyone gets a notification to say new material, and you can go in and check it out. And then when I re-record and update everything, you all get an email to say everything has been updated. So there's always new, because things change. Like, things have changed so much since I started this, that Meta has come out with new algorithms. We now have ManyChat, which we never had before. So there's so many things that are super powerful tools that we should all be using. So when everything changes, I update all the material. So these, oh, and also it's lifetime access. So when you do sign up, it's lifetime access. It never expires. People who signed up 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and there was only 5 modules, they now have access to all 10 because we're always updating it. So we have optimizing social media, pricing, inside price. So these are all the modules. Inside each modules are multiple lessons. And we go through everything. Pricing might be my favorite one, and I kind of wish I had a screenshot of it, but maybe next time. But we go into there's an interactive spreadsheet where you put in all your overheads. So you put in, how much you pay for your equipment, how much you pay for your lease or mortgage, how much you're paying for marketing, or everything that you can think of, dog food, vet bills, everything goes in there. And then the next page is a more sophisticated spreadsheet, and it's like how much weight gain a day do you want? Are you feeding hay and grain or just hay? Do you lease pasture? It goes into all of this, and then it spits you out a price, spits you out multiple prices really, based on those overheads, what you need to charge to get 25% gross margin, 30% gross margin, 35% gross margin. So you know where you have to position yourself to make the revenue and the gross margin that you need. It's super, super cool. Okay, so super scratchy throat. These are just the modules. So how to set up your social media for monetary gain, how to get the price you want and deserve, how to identify your ideal customer and how to reach them and ensure repeat business, how to target your customer and drive traffic to your platform, how to sell out monthly and not be left with inventory, how to build your email lists, how to advertise on social media, how to use automations to sell, how to analyze the data and find what works on your platform or in your platform, how to set up your online store and get your product to the customer. And we are constantly adding to this. And this is just what it looks like inside. So all the modules are down the left. Whichever module you've highlighted is on the right. And when you click in here, you see all the different lessons. And then once you've completed it, you get a tick. And you want to get all the ticks. Every lesson has videos, teaching notes, lessons, transcripts. All the videos are timestamped, so you know exactly if you want to go back and review and you want to know, I want to know what X, Y, and Z is, there is a timestamp and like a contents list underneath the video, so you can scroll to exactly where you want. So we're trying to make it as user-friendly as possible. We also have a community. So our community is on Skool. And we have calls. So in here, there is a classroom where all the calls and videos are, not the course. These are guest expert videos and coaching videos. Any Loom videos to help you will all be inside the classroom. There is a calendar where all the calls are. We're currently, I think, up to 2 calls a week. I have so many Australians that have just signed up that I am going to launch an evening call so more of them can join us. So you can see, like, when I screenshotted this, there was a call with me in 25 hours. But you can ask anything. And then there's like a general room, or you could, if you want to ask something on social media, you can go into the social media room or landing pages or ad help or email help. There's a room for everything. So this is our community. You have access to this for 12 months. The course access is lifetime. But some people say the community is the best thing. You can always extend your membership afterwards too. So this is just a few more testimonials. Remember Maggie? I saved her ranch, or Empowering Farmers saved her ranch. We would certainly recommend this. It's a complete game changer. Amy's marketing got us up and running in literally a few days. Where else can you get that kind of result? Amy is a wealth of practical, proven knowledge, sharing what works and what doesn't. That alone saves thousands in resources and trial and error. If you're a fan of any of these, I've been interviewed on all of them. Sirius XM, Rural Radio, Working Cows, Farm for Profit, Ranching Reboot, Mark Sharkey at the Shark Farmer, he was a blast. The Renaissance, and there's been more, but I've also done a few talks at places. It's fun meeting everyone. And I have farmers, I work with farmers all over Canada, the USA, Australia, the UK, and Ireland. And since I wrote that, I've actually just signed up someone from New Zealand. So I'm rapidly learning all the ins and outs of the New Zealand licensing policies, which is fun. Okay, it's just some testimonials. Thank you so much, Amy. In the last couple of weeks, I've sold 15 by $250 beef boxes, quarter and a half of beef, making 7 deliveries all over tomorrow to our city, Prince George. That was Brooklyn. She was one of my first farmers. Nikki, Amy, it's working. No surprise to you, I'm sure. But what started as a handful of orders trickling in during the month of May has grown to trickles in June. And now at least 1, if not 2 orders consistently each day for the past 4 days, including our first 2 bulk orders. I'm so thrilled to see it starting to work. Thank you. Diamond H Ranch is almost her. So she sent me this in May. And then in the beginning of, at the end of June, like the 26th of June, she sent me this. Thank you, Amy. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing without you. We were processing 17 head in August. And this is a farmer who had paid that $18,000 and didn't help, and they were going to lose everything. And there was a mad panic rush to kind of make things work. And we really made things work. And you can have this too. It really is as easy as 1, 2, 3. We'll call him Bob. So this is a farmer that I've worked with. He is inside Empowering Farmers. He's inside the community. And he has a bit of a sad story, but he was at least 28,000 down when we met. And he'd only made sales. He'd only made something like $2,000. But we helped him. So we're going to call him Bob. He paid 18,000 to Farm Rebel. And then he paid another 5,000 to Direct Farm. And then he paid another 5,000 to a company to build a funnel that he didn't end up using. And then he paid something like 3,600 in ads that made him 3,400 in sales. So he had a negative return on ad spend. And I mean, I'm proud of him that he never gave up, because this works. That once we plugged him in and he got into Empowering Farmers and we started doing everything that we teach, the driving the traffic and using emails, we got his sales up. I think it took November, December, 3 months to really make, dig out of that hole, but we did. Everything went up. 787% increase in sales, 704% increase in revenue. Everything just kept on getting better and better. And they were constantly improving. And what Bob did and what we were able to help him do, we've done for so many. And this wasn't even a large email list. I think he had 980 people on his list. But once we were able to really improve that customer journey, he was able to really dial in, drive the traffic, and make the sales. And I want that for all of you. And that is what we teach you to do.